Time's the charm on this video, boys. We've tried to film this 2 times before this. This is the 3rd time. The first time we tried to film this, I actually opened the package for my Hoyt Carbon Superlite Quiver, and someone had already opened the package, installed the mounting hardware and brackets out of it, so I had to take it back and get a new one. So that was fun. That was a great start. And then the second time I've tried to film this, or multiple times into the second time, it's been simply too hot. We've actually had temperatures of 107, 106 real temperature. So my camera lens does not stay not foggy. It just fogs up, gets all cloudy, and looks like I'm going through a fog machine as I'm trying to film this video for you guys. So we've been having a lot of struggles, but finally we have a break in the heat. I think we're going to have a really beautiful week of weather here coming up, and I'm going to try to film as much as I can for you guys between now and then so I don't have to worry about it. I tried posting this video yesterday, but I kind of had to cut corners, and I didn't like how the video turned out, so I'm going to try to go ahead and redo it for you guys today. With that being said, today's video is over this bad boy right here. This Hoyt Carbon Superlite Quiver. I'm going to put this down for a second and talk to you guys about having a quiver on your bow. When you have a quiver on your bow, there's a lot that goes into it, more than just putting a piece of hardware on the side of your bow. One thing that I'll tell you guys everything that I don't like about it first, and then I'll tell you what I do like about it. Everything that goes into putting a quiver that I don't like, having all that on one side of your bow, that's a lot of weight on one side of your bow. So if you imagine if this is your bow being vertical, perfectly balanced, you add a sight, that's going to make it lean. You got a quiver, that's more weight on one side, that's going to make it lean even further. So you have to counterbalance that with a back bar, which is, I don't have one on there, but I have a mount right there that kicks off the back there and balances it back normal. That overall makes your bow physically heavier. You have a sight, a quiver, and everything on one side, so your balance is going to be thrown off. You're going to have to counterbalance that with a back bar, so your physical weight's going to go up of your bow and your whole entire rig and setup. That's my biggest flaw with it. Now, one thing I do like about it quite a bit is being able to transport, whether you're doing a spot and stock situation, which is the biggest reason why I got this, because I have elk hunts and mule deer hunts and all sorts of out west hunting that I'll be looking forward to, and even hog hunting here in the next couple, I think like 6 months or so. I like having a quiver on my bow for the fact that it makes you so much more maneuverable. It makes you more stealthy. You don't have to reach behind in your bag to pull an arrow out, or you don't have to fumble around, take your backpack off. Everything's right there. And my biggest thing is that I had a problem with is I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm about 6'4", 6'5", somewhere in there. When I walk in through brush when I'm doing spot and stock, whether it be elk hunting or hog hunting or anything like that, where I have to get in tight to thick cover, that catches a lot. It makes noise. It's a bigger profile. And when you have a quiver on the side of your bow, everything's right there, and you can pick an arrow out, and it makes your, it'll just enhance your fire rate. Your fire rate's going to go up considerably because you're going to be shooting it, you'll be able to pull an arrow out right from the side of your bow instead of having to fumble around and find that arrow that you need. So that's enough of what I like and don't like about it, but I would say if you're shooting with a quiver on your bow, one thing I will say and throw a little tip in there is make sure that you check your sight tapes and your sight, because if you have a bow with a quiver on there compared to having a bow with no quiver on there, when you sight in your bow, your follow through is going to be different because your balance point is going to be different. You follow through and your form is a little bit different when you're shooting with a quiver on. Your arrow's not going to be hitting at the same spot. That's what I found. So just make sure that you're double checking your sight tapes and making sure your point of impact on your arrow is the same as it should be without a quiver actually on there. I'm going to quit rambling. We're going to go ahead and get into this quiver here, and I'll show you guys everything I like about it and everything I don't like about it. Today we're going to be talking about this bad boy. This is the Hoyt Carbon Superlite Quiver. This is the one-piece quick detach 6 arrow. I decided to go with the 6 arrow just because, if you ain't shooting, you ain't doing good enough, all right, boys? I'm talking like I want at least 10 deer dead every single time I go out in the woods. All jokes aside, this is a really nice quiver. Today we're going to be talking about it, so without further ado, let's get into it. So my favorite thing about this quiver is that the physical weight of this quiver is 9 ounces, and most quivers that are 6 arrows are actually considerably heavier than this. I've seen some as far as a pound. So 9 ounces is just a little bit over half a pound. Extremely lightweight. I like this a lot for the fact that it's not going to throw the balance off of your bow too much, just because the physical weight of this is not going to be added on to a lot. There's not too much that's going to go into taking that balance off. 9 ounces is a considerable chunk, but you don't have to throw another 6 ounces on your back bar to mitigate that balance problem that you're going to run into there. Another reason why you should consider this quiver is that this quiver actually can fit any size arrow on the market. So if you're running a 6.5 in a standard size, a 5mm and a small size, and a 4mm and a micro diameter size like these VAP TKOs that I have in here, this is going to fit it. That's a pretty big deal, because if you're someone like me that doesn't want to buy 5 different quivers to mount on 5 different bows, and you want one that's quick detach like this, and I'll get onto that here in a second, this is extremely useful. You know, if you're wanting to be going from a 3D season, or maybe shooting a little bit bigger arrows to, you know, line cutters as they like to call them, to going into a hunting situation and shooting arrows like these, this is going to fit every single arrow that you need it to. So that's huge for me. I like that a lot, and that's probably one of the biggest features that I can put into this quiver. With that being said, let's get into tip number 3. Another reason why I like this quiver so much is that this is quick detach, meaning that this is very seamless to get it actually off of your bow. You know, some of you have to like twist and kind of pull off. This is not the case with this quiver. All you have to do is loosen this little knob here, as you guys can see. Loosen it, and boom, your quiver's off. That's very helpful in a lot of situations if you're going to be doing spot and stock type situations, or if you're going to be going ahead and you're going to be running to the tree stand. You get up in the tree stand, maybe you're running a little bit late, take it off, put it on the tree, and you're good to go. I like that for the simple fact that it, you know, makes it seamless, very effective, smooth, and quiet. That's big on this too. I don't know if you guys got to hear that. In fact, I'll do it one more time for you guys. Go ahead and put this bad boy back on. We're good to go there. So now we're tightened on. You guys can see we're all tightened up there. Loosen it, loosen it. Loosen a little bit more. I don't know how well you guys could hear that, but that is extremely quiet for a quiver. And even more on that quiet thing, you know, like I was referring to the arrows earlier being able to fit in any size and the quick detach being quiet, listen how quiet your arrows pull out of this too. Like, you don't hear your arrows like clinking around because it's not like messing up or anything like that. It's super quiet and super effective. So Hoyt came out with their inline system, and what that system is designed to be is everything Hoyt branded, so it's going to be extremely expensive, but it actually really is, in all honesty, what you should be buying for your Hoyt bow. If you're going to be going to the, you know, the furthest extent of hunting like I do. I'm not saying I'm a professional hunter by any means, but I'm always out in the field, whether it be spot and stock, hog hunting, or I'm going to go elk hunting, mule deer hunting, or whitetail hunting. Everything that Hoyt has to offer really does fit your bow for the best needs, and this is no exception. You know, when you put a quiver on your bow, one thing that not a lot of people think about when you put a quiver on your bow is the fact that that could throw your balance off. You know, the further that you get weight on to one side of the riser, the more balance problems you're going to run into. Can you shut up, big bug? Whatever you are, cicada, whatever it's called. But if you look, there's a pretty decent sized gap right there, or not a pretty decent sized gap right there. Like, I can barely fit my finger in there. Like, you can barely see daylight if I move my camera back and forth between there. That means that this keeps your bow and your stabilizer and quiver system all really close. I have the Hoyt back bar mount here too, so it's going to keep it, you know, really close to your bow, but it's going to make it very adjustable so you don't have to throw off your balance. Honestly, that's what I have for you guys. You know, if I had to say, pick a quiver for your bow, and if you have a Hoyt, I mean, if you have a Matthews, I don't even know if a Matthews would mount to this, but I'm sure you could figure out a way. Go for it. But what I'm saying is, if you have a Hoyt, I would definitely be checking this quiver out. You know, it is more expensive. I think this quiver is like $189, $200. I don't remember. Sometimes I just swipe the card and I don't worry about the price behind that. It's a problem, but it's okay. But Hoyt quiver, should you buy it? Absolutely. Is it quiet? Yes. Is it effective? Yes. Does it hold every single size arrow that you may or may not need? Yes. Is it lightweight? Yes. All good signs from a good quiver, and if you guys have any other questions about it, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you guys need to know, because I may or may not know it, but someone else in the comments might. So with that being said, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys loved today's video, the Hoyt Carbon Superlite Quiver. Single piece, 9 ounces. I've tried to film this video 3 times. Heat, weather, and everything's been going against me, but that's all I have.